My name is Brian Gibson. I served in the United States Army for 26 years. My primary MOS was 68 Whiskey, healthcare specialist. I served in Operation Desert Storm and Iraqi Freedom. I enlisted in the military in 1985, right out of high school. I went to basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Relaxin' Jackson. First deployment was, well, I went from Fort Stewart, Georgia, over to Bayreuth, Germany. And I was with the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment. Over there we guarded the east-west Czechoslovakian border at the time. I was actually on the border camp when the border opened back in the day. We were one day into a 45-day rotation, and they opened the borders. Whistles and sirens went off, and we loaded up and went running down to the border to see what was going on. My brother-in-law at the time from there, he was a border guard. So I went down to him. Hans, was ist los? And he tells me the border's open. I go back to my lieutenant. Hey, sir, we're out of a job. What do you mean? Border's open. Well, hindsight, the Russian attack plan for the Fulda Gap was to push all the civilians first, clog up all the roads, and then they were going to come. So we sat there for the remainder of our tour counting Trabis, the little East German cars, two-cylinder, two-cycle engine, you know, we counted those. From there, I went to Fort Riley, Kansas. Here's the family history on the Big Red One.
Okay.
Grandfather, Omaha Beach, 1st Infantry Division. Lost a testicle. So I'm lucky to be here.
Okay.
Okay? That first ID. My uncle, Dave, 1st Infantry Division, Vietnam. Myself, 1st Infantry Division, Operation Desert Storm. My son, 1st ID, Operation Iraqi Freedom number 4. So we got 4 generations that have served with the Big Red One. My better accomplishments and things that I have done were, I would have to say, would be being a medic, taking care of my Joes. I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing that I've done. I mean, we don't count the saves, we count who we lost. And that's, you know, unfortunately that number's too high for me. Civilians and military. What I think the civilians need to know about us is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, since the dawn of time and civilization, nations, countries have trained men, women to go to war, to see things and do things that no human being should have to do. And that's all great. But I tell them, you know, there's one thing every nation, everything since the beginning of a standing army that they haven't been able to figure to do: untrain us. You don't unsee, you don't unhear, you don't. Civilians got to understand that we've gone through things that they'll never understand, and there's nothing we can explain. I get the question all the time, what's war like? Enlist, find out. You know, I can't sit there and describe a firefight to what civilians would comprehend. You just can't do it. I did 26 years, 4 months and 13 days. Even to this day, I am a soldier. When people ask me, oh, well, what do you do for a living? I told them, I'm a soldier. That's it. I'm a soldier. There's nothing more to me. This is what I know. That was my career, being a soldier. And a lot of civilians just can't comprehend that. When you ask a veteran how your day is going, you better be prepared to listen. And they go, what do you mean? I said, you might be that one voice at that one time that they can just let it out. You don't need to say a word. You just need to let them let it out. But yeah, civilians just don't comprehend what we do, what we've done, what we've seen, and yeah, it's just that. They don't know. There's no way to accurately portray it. The brotherhood, the sisterhood, yeah, I mean, you just can't beat it. Well, let's take you for example. Where did we meet? On social media, right? I'm from Kentucky, you're here in beautiful Lock Haven, right? It's a brotherhood. It was, hey brother, what's up? Hey man, I do these videos. Dude, I'm coming up to see you. Why? Because you're my brothers, right? There's a lot of organizations out there that say brotherhood and brotherhood and brotherhood. They don't know brotherhood. They don't know at 3 o'clock in the morning you answered a call and you know, no brother, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. I got brothers that I served with 20 years ago that still call me when, you know, hey, what's up? After my last deployment, I wasn't physically to keep as a medic. Just things happened and I couldn't physically do the job. So I was close, and Sergeant Major of mine kind of hooked me up and threw me into recruiting where I could finish out my time. So I go back to Fort Jackson at the time to recruiting school, and I get a roommate in my barracks. And I'm like, dude, I know that last name. Who's your dad? And he tells me. I'm like, really? Call him up. He calls him. Yo, dude, Doc. Doc! What are you doing, man? I'm sitting here in recruiting school with your boy. Right? The whole recruiting school, I was making fun of this kid because I changed his diapers. Again, fraternity and brotherhood, man. You just can't beat it. We have brothers and sisters that you can't replace. In my time in service, there were good times, there were bad times. It happens. Desert Storm, my first wife left me. My 6-month-old daughter, I ain't seen her since. Military life will take its toll. You know, God bless the firefighters and the police department and all that for what they do. But until you pack your rucksack, hop on a plane, go somewhere for a year, 2, you know, y'all don't know hardship. I tried to self-medicate myself from my dreams and my nightmares. I woke up one day and went, you know, if this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. And luckily I had a good support system in place that, you know, helped me out. You know, it helped me out. She has sacrificed so much. Every spouse sacrifices so much to support us. All I know is the love letters, the Christmas cards, the pictures of the kids that showed up regularly, kept me going. Well, point, and I'm kind of putting my wife up on a soapbox, but she had some medical problems my last deployment. She went through a surgery and didn't bother to tell me because I was a platoon sergeant. I had, she goes, you had more important things to do. I mean, if my wife did that, I can just imagine how many other spouses just, they handle it. They, the reintegration was kind of tough when you come back because your wife handles everything and you come back and you got that little spot where, yeah, who's in charge and who's what. Any of the veterans listening, dude, take a breath, take a walk. It takes time. Don't just come in balls to the walls and think I'm taking over. Just because it ain't gonna work. And I know that by firsthand because that's where I was self-medicating and and that just didn't work. Luckily, she didn't leave. It's okay to ask for help. It is. It is. It's okay to ask for help. Whether it be with marriage, you're self-medicating, you're doing something, you gotta ask for help. And if you're a civilian, when they ask for help, don't judge because you don't know what that veteran's been through. Veteran means to me sacrifice, because here's a man or woman that have signed a blank check up to including their life to defend this nation. And for our previous conversation, you're right, less than 1% of this nation's population puts on a uniform. Being a soldier, a sailor, an airman, we are the first momos that say, yo, can you talk this out? Is there a way you can settle this without us? We're the first ones to say, don't. Talk a little more. Support your veterans. That's the biggest thing I can say.